Hello, welcome back, and we are into week 1. So, what I want to do in this week is show you how the assignments work, set you up with Mcgraw-Hill, and just kind of go through a quick overview. So, the way it'll work every week is you're going to have this video, a short explanation, and you're expected to kind of work through your workbook. So, I've got chapter 1 here. Now, as you're reading the textbook, which will be sort of the first step in learning some of the content, you're going to want to look for the answers of these questions. These questions, again, as mentioned in the last one, are what are going to really help you kind of remember what your notes are. They're the important things. Now, there could be 30 pages in the textbook. These are the things that you're going to be tested on that you're going to have to do, that you're really going to have to understand. So, today, we're looking at the 5 types of accounts and what the statements are, and which accounts belong in which statements. So I can tell you that there are 5 types of accounts. There are the temporary accounts, and there are the permanent accounts. The temporary accounts are found on the income statement. They are your revenue and your expenses. Revenue being money and work that you've completed and money that you've made, and expenses are things that have helped you make that money. Now, your other 3 accounts are your permanent accounts. They're found on the balance sheet. Now, the balance sheet includes your assets, capital, large buildings, things like that help you make money. Liabilities, that's when you are owed money. So if you have, that's when you owe money. So if you have bills to pay and you haven't paid them, you have a liability, bank loans, things like that. And equity, that's kind of what you've put into the business and what's left over. Those 5 accounts are the fundamentals of all accounting. As mentioned, you've got your income statement, revenue, expenses, your balance sheet, assets, liabilities, and equity, and you have your statement of changes in equity, which just sort of shows how that's the intermediary financial statement between your income statement and your balance sheet. Now, this will start to make sense a little bit as you work through some of these examples. So here you can write the statements on top and put the types of accounts that belong below them. You'll also answer what is the account equation. Now, I'm not here to give you all the answers. I'm just sort of here to give you a push in the right direction, because unfortunately, you will fall asleep if I talk about accounting for an hour and a half. And I think you're probably better suited to do examples and to read the book and just kind of learn how to use it as a resource, because you're going to want to go in and out of it quite a bit this semester. So you've read the book, you've filled out these questions. You're going to do that 8 times, right, for every chapter. That is going to be your best practices. Now you get to this section. You've got a number of questions in each chapter. And you go, well, I don't know how to do these. Well, first, you could try to work through the book. You could try to use some examples. Every once in a while, you're going to see that I put, for instance, a little helpful graphic from the book here, so you can refer to it without going back to the book. But if you don't want to do that, that's where we go back to our bright space. Under course materials content, you can find our YouTube links. Now, our YouTube links is just a nice, easy document where you can find links to everything. So I'm going to open this first one up, and you're going to see me work through the examples and give an explanation of why we do what we do. This is not just an answer key, although, a little bit of a, to keep it simple, if you just want to look at the answer, you can jump over to the end and you have your answer. But these are meant to be 15 to 20 minutes. In some cases, in some of the longer examples, up to 30 to 40 minutes. These are meant for you to follow along, press pause, try to figure it out, put some thought to it, and work through. So again, let's say you really understand it. We'll just try print the page twice, or use a scrap paper and fill out the answer. Jump to the end and see if you have the right answer. If you don't, you can follow along. You can fill it out as you go in your workbook, And I'm going to give you an explanation on every question on why we do what we do. Now, not every question in your workbook has a video. Some of these is, and I'll explain in chapter 5 what I've sort of stopped. For instance, I probably won't test you on periodic because I'm just a little concerned that this might be a lot of content out the gate. And some of these I've left for you to do. Now, that doesn't mean we can't put a video together. So if you need help and you want me to build you a video, it's totally okay. But most of the questions do have a video. You'll see, all the questions in chapter 2, all the questions in chapter 3. As you go through, you'll see. I've just put a few extra videos in, or extra questions into your workbook, just so you have some extra work, opportunities to do work. Now, I can send you the answer key as well. If you just want to see your answer, that's totally fine. Just send me an email, and I can do that for you. But as I mentioned, this does require you to actually put the time in. Now, this is exactly what we would do in class. The only difference is you can't kind of ask me questions back and forth. So if you don't kind of understand why we're doing something at the end of the video, maybe try do another example and then just send me an email. We'll set up a tutorial, or just if it's a quick question, hey, why did you do this in this video? Send me the link with the timestamp and say, hey, why did you do this? I would have done this, and I can give you an explanation, and that's totally fine. So whatever makes more sense for you. But that is how you're going to get through the course. Chapter 1, again, as you read it, look for the important information, and then go through these and try to fill out every example using the YouTube videos. And again, you can find all the links here. So that is how we work through the course. Now that you've spent about 3 hours in your course and you kind of have an understanding, now is assignment time. So this is where you go into Mcgraw-Hill Connect. Now your assignments are set up to be the same way that you're going to be doing your exams. So your exams will be, if you get comfortable with Mcgraw-Hill Connect in your assignments, that's perfect, because then you can, you'll be set for your course, or for your exam, pardon me. So remember, we signed up using Mcgraw-Hill Connect here in the last week's video. So make sure you are in my course. This is the link. You're probably on your 2-week trial. You will have to pay for it after the 2 weeks is done, either $89 or the code of a textbook. And you will get to here, Introductory Financial Accounting 1, Fall 2020. If you're watching this video later, because we're still distributed learning or online learning, it might not say Fall 2020, but you'll be at something that looks like this. Now, when you get here, the Mcgraw-Hill Connect is actually quite great. So I'm going to show you the textbook. It is very cool. Cancel. And we get to the textbook. Now you can scroll through and you can flip pages by hitting the next button. Now let's say you have lost your spot or whatever it might be. You can hit this table of contents button and you can go to exactly, so let's say you remember reading about accounting opportunities, you can just hop right back in there and continue on where you are reading. The textbook has summaries, so you can see sort of what it is you're going to be reading. So if you need a quick refresher, you can go to the summary afterwards. But all in all, it is very good textbook. You can have it read you the page.
Summary. Each chapter
if you don't want to read it yourself, it can read it out to you. And you can change the font size, make it bigger, search, and even highlight things that are important to you. So if you want to highlight things, you can go in and annotate things. And in your quick access, if you go to the sidebar now, because you remember something is important, well, you can go to your annotations, right up here where your highlights are. So your highlights here, you've highlighted. You can take notes as you go. Really a great system to read the textbook. Now, if you want the physical book, it's the exact same book, but you do need access to Mcgraw-Hill Connect because you need to do your assignments. So once we get into your assignment, you can then go in and, now this is currently locked, so let me just get out of student view and go to instructor view, you can go into your assignment and you'll be able to take your attempt. So you have unlimited attempts. There's 3 questions. It's in progress. You can hit continue and you get started. So that's all it is. Now, once you're in your assignment, you get to read it and you come down here and you can either type, you can pick your accounts. So it'll tell you, now I know accounts receivable is an asset, not in revenue, so I'm going to put it in, and for whatever reason, hypothetically, I can go to check my work, and it's going to tell me that is not right. So you can check your work as you go. These assignments aren't here to test you, they're here to help you. Now, hypothetically, let's say I can't get it, why is this not working? We'll get out a return to question. You can go over here to references, learning objective 0106, press the ebook, and you can actually go into your summary and go to learning objective 6, and this is how you can answer your question. So if you need to go through, you need to figure out how you want to answer your question, you can go straight to the learning objective that you see here. It says under references, and you can actually go direct to chapter 1, learning objective 6, and that is where you can get some support from your textbook. Finally, let's say you say, hey, I just hate working on this computer. Yes, you will have to submit it on here, but let's say you want to think about it by hand. Now, you can't do this for the exam, so I don't want you to get in the habit of it, but let's say you just know it's going to help you study, and that's totally fine. You can press the print button and the print button up in the top right. And here, you'll see that it'll actually give you the question. Now, I've typed in accounts receivable is wrong, but delete that. And you can actually fill it out by hand and then come back and fix it after. So the print button is available to you if you're more of a learner that just wants to look at it and take it away or add it to your notes. You can either print it complete or you can print it not complete, whatever you want to do, but it is available for you. Now you cannot print in the exam because we're not allowed notes, but it is available. Again, the assignments are here to help you. They're not here to test you. I give you every opportunity to kind of go back and forth to do your assignments. So that is a bit of an overview of what your McGraw-Hill save and exit, you're in progress, and that shows us sort of how to use McGraw-Hill. So have a look. Good luck. Start working through your workbook. The YouTube links are available. I will add them in the announcements. And let me know if you have any questions. You can send me an email, of course. I'll post my email address as well. And I look forward to getting some feedback and seeing how you're doing after week 1. Remember, this Sunday, 11:59 p.m., your first assignment is due. There's 3 questions, as we saw. You're going to want to jump in and get those done right away. Make sure you don't have any issues with Mcgraw-Hill Connect. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. And I hope I haven't overwhelmed you in the first week, but I know that you'll get the hang of this quick and you'll be flying through in no time.